If you find my points wrong, right over here on this channel, I would personally be calling them, would be answering the questions.
Sure, we'll go
That's
over it.
if I really find worth answering.
Yeah.
Right.
Hello and welcome to the Test Card channel once again. So today we are doing this podcast on the popular demand of our parents and students. In this podcast, we'll be talking about the JEE entrance examination, its scenario for the last few years, and most of the question that possibly most of you must be having in your mind. We'll try to answer most of them in today's podcast. Okay, so Manish, I have a few questions with me today. These are basically an overview kind of a question to which I think you can possibly be able to answer me. First, let's say, what do you think is the JEE market scenario, JEE entrance examination scenario in Middle East over the last 10 years? We are talking about entrance exam preparation, coaching centers, preparation strategy, how this market has evolved over the last 10 years. Because I remember that we started in 2010. I don't remember much in terms of Middle Eastern market, in terms of JEE preparation. How do you see it? What's the major differences?
See, uh, it's because I have been witnessing this market in Middle East, in all these 6 Gulf countries, where most of the Indians are there. This is basically a very prominent market, right? The queries of the parents, right? It's very inquisitive, more than curiosity. They want to know a lot of things. And currently, when we are in year 2024, in fact, the test prep card enrolled its first student. In year 2008, she was from Doha, Qatar. Currently, she is somewhere in US in cybersecurity. She did her engineering from Birla Institute of Technology. Right. She was the first student from Middle East who basically joined test prep card. That time, the parents, there were a lot of things over here in India. I mean, even the even providing the sessions to the student, it was a big problem.
Right.
Problem because of only one thing, which has become so strong today. The infrastructure, and the key element of the infrastructure was what? It was the net connection.
Internet? Yes.
The net connection here in India, that time it was a luxury if you are having 256 kbps. The coastal areas in the Middle East, whether it is Saudi or Qatar or UAE and all these places, the internet infrastructure sometimes was completely bogged down.
Yeah.
Right? We were assuming that time that okay, this could be the reason, and this was the reason.
Right.
So over the period of time, the best thing that has happened to this whole scenario is what? The enabler that basically was the internet. It has become strengthened. Here in India, it's like anything. There's a golden era. Same is in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, during that time, in 2008, 10, 12, it was difficult for the parents to accept that there was, whether a boy or a girl, that they would be able to get into the centrally funded technical institutions in India,
right,
through JEE.
Okay.
JEE was basically a draconian word for them. Right.
But
Joint entrance exam.
Okay. But sorry to cut you in between. I just need to understand, as you said that back in 2010, we were having difficulties with the internet and let's say system, the requirements were a little different. Were they receptive? The parents were they receptive that okay, we can go with the JEE coaching that too
This
in an
is
online
what I'm describing to you.
Okay.
Right. That JEE basically used to be a draconian word. When we would be connecting with a parent, he would say, no, it's very difficult for my child just to get into these CFTIs through JEE.
Right.
We had to tell them. The bottom line was that JEE is not a matter of difficulty, it's a matter of subjectivity. So they used to keep a view that anyone who is cracking JEE is someone who is out of this planet, has come from the planet Mars or Venus. Right? He's a super brain or something. Those things were definitely not like that. They had the less taste and the flavor of this examination. So exposure and just to believe that my child who is sitting for JEE and would be able to do. Right. So here, the shackle was broken by this thing that we, Test Prep Card, brought the best of the teachers in India, and we connected it to those students who were able to, and they were especially instructed.
Right.
Test Prep Card is still sticking to this thing that this online education is nothing, but how you could simply comprehend the difficult of the content.
Okay.
Right. When this is the time when you have net is not a problem, medium is not a problem. You have got a lot of things where the student and teacher would be able to see each other on camera. Even that time, because of the net, this was a problem. Right. Platform was a problem. These days, these all are quite even.
Yeah.
Okay. You need not worry about this. So after this, the maturity age comes, and this maturity age is what? That you have to bring the best of the teachers in order to comprehend the difficult content or the complex content of physics, chemistry, math, and biology to the students. If you do that, you are successful, and this is the bottom line of the Test Prep Card.
Okay.
You have to keep the thing simple. I mean, if you are teaching someone math, you need to understand. I mean, there is no denying the fact that still the complete education system of this comprehension. By comprehension, what I mean? By this, what I mean that how the teacher comprehends a content of these four subjects: physics, chemistry, math, and biology, to a student who is sitting in the Middle East. Right.
But does this get impacted by the number of students also? Because, for example, you are saying that Test Prep Card is online and we've been providing coaching since 2010. It also, because I've heard there are a couple of companies, a couple of coaching centers are there who are now operating in an online mode also. But does the batch size or maybe the number of students in a batch, does that creates an impact on the learning curve?
See, you lose the very soul of this online medium of teaching. Right. When you are keeping it one-sided. When, I mean, what basically the reason for these giants who were not education company, they were the tech giants. That's why they were known as edu-tech company.
Right.
That they felt badly, they fell down to a point from where now nobody is expecting them just to rise. They rose because of some incident, COVID, etc.
Yeah.
Right. So the bottom line remains the same. That I mean, let's not say that this is online or offline. Even in a normal classroom, where a teacher, I mean, what is the basic difference between the online and offline? As much as I have understood, that the teacher, in offline mode, teaches you through five senses.
Right.
Right. In online mode, through four senses. The teacher cannot touch you. Whatever. Right. That's it. But the thing is that if you are making a culture of mass coaching culture, or so that becomes more withered, rather abused. Rather, we are going away from the reality where we are defining that this is the next to reality, the Test Prep Card sessions. Why? Because we are still believing that okay, you have not to think everything from the profit point of view. Rather, you have to maintain a batch size where the students they are able to ask their queries. Right. Otherwise, this bottom line that comprehending the content, making the student understand the content of these subjects, how this is going to come into the picture. No, this would not be possible.
I think with the big batch size, it would be difficult for each and every student.
The batch size of 300, 400 students, the batch size of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 students. Over there, it is a show where the teacher is the phantom of the opera. However, he remains his own phantom. Right. He's not the savior of the students. Nowhere. And over there, I mean, these days everything is open. So the parents and the students who are planning to take admission anywhere should go to the content and the style and the way it is comprehended.
So what are the key factors?
I would like to mention over here that once you look into that, over there what you find, those motivation seems like it's a pill, you pop it and you are motivated just to crack JEE. And the next thing is that you are having a degree of IT and NIT in your hand. This toxic culture has been created over the period of last 4 to 5 years, which has not contributed at all to the benefit of the students. Rather, it is more towards the benefit of those organizations who try to do this. Unfortunately, some of them are successful. But when this bubble burst took place, now today people have come to know the reality.
Correct.
Right. Okay. That's why, there was a time the test prep card, it was basically a candle in the wind, like a fledgling bird, which is now has turned quite a mature stud, which believes that okay, this can be done and this is what we have been doing. For the simple result of JEE under the CIWG and DASA quota in the Middle East, people make a lot of hue and cry. They beat the drum and all. They present it like a show for nothing. Whereas we say that we are the factory of producing these NITNs, triple ITNs and all, but less ITNs. This is a reality.
Right.
Right. We have done it very successfully in the Middle East. The students who are associated with the test prep card at present, they know you need to keep these things very simple. Remember, and this is what everyone knows, the parents, the mother, the father, that education is not something which is guided by the glamour. Correct. True. So if you see, you need to understand that all these entertainment and glamour factor has to be cut, and you are able to produce the result. You need not engage the student 12 hours, 15 hours per week, 60 hours in the name of JEE and NEET coaching. This is completely useless. You give them a clock teaching time, right, 5 to 6 hours per week, and they are producing the result. Right. If the student is not even this much motivated, this basically is the fault of the parents that they are putting their children into any mode of coaching, whether it is offline or online. Okay, right. This is a truth. I personally have visited each and every school in all these 6 countries in the Middle East. I have even gone to the border of Yemen and all these places where there are Indian schools and all. The principal and the teachers of all these Indian schools in all these 6 countries in the Middle East, who know, who have ever tried to do any sort of webinar, seminar, talks about JEE and NEET, coaching about JEE and NEET. If they are watching me right now, they would remember my face. Right. So we were never into creating any sort of glamour or entertainment, because we know that in this what happens, this is just that like a pied piper, you are guiding all these students to a place where they are bound to hit. Only you would survive by being a pied piper, because you know your intentions very well. What about these innocent students and all? Paying this much of money, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, per year, or for just 18 to 20 months of training program.
So that is
Unnecessarily pushing them into a toxic culture, showing them a fear, making them paranoid that if you don't do this, you will not be able to crack JEE. We know that we have kept it very simple. Go and read the review of our parents, where they say that this is pleasantly good, simply good. Why? Because in order to crack this JEE main under this CIWG and DASA quota, for all these NITs and triple ITs, even for NEET, you need to be disciplined. You need to be, punctual. You need to focus only for 90 minutes or 2 hours for all these. You do this. If you don't do this, it means you are dragging your feet. You are unnecessarily into this coaching without any reason, and this is the fault of the parents who think. Try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. They think that okay, I have put my child into ABC coaching, and my child is going to give me the result. I am the proud parent, having said
So the job is
that
done.
I live in the Middle East, and my child is now in ITN and triple ITN. I hardly have seen this. Right. This is the way parents are simply getting themselves trapped, and this is not fault of anyone else. Simply the parents. Even in order to be part of the intense training program, right, the coaching program, the child has to get adapted. But I can definitely say that in order to give result in an IT and triple IT, This much of coaching, this type of culture, this type of toxic culture, this much of hue and cry definitely is not required. And test prep card is the example of that, where we have given very, very good number of results through this training program because the students, along with the theory and concept, they were also hitting upon the application part.
Yeah.
Right? Make them happy, keep them teaching, they will say, Sir, I'm understanding everything. By the time you put them through the test, you come to know that I have not understood anything.
Yes.
Here you need to teach them that how to handle the failure. If you think, being a student, that in this test I got 80 out of 100. First of all, JEE is definitely not a matter. You cannot compare it with the CBSE or the school curriculum where you get depressed if you are not getting 100 on 100.
Yes. Correct.
JEE is something where if you get truly 75 to 80 out of 100, you are a damn good student. If you are getting 60 out of 100, it means you are 100% potential just to be part of these NITs and triple ITs.
Yes. Correct.
Right. That is it. So, in that amount only, in that volume only, you need to plan your studies within this, circumference.
Okay.
Unnecessarily studying too much, getting yourself under pressure. You see what is happening in the, the coaching. A place quota that was known for the coaching hub and all. Why the students have stopped going over there? Because life is most important thing.
Yeah.
If I have the life, I'll go for the coaching.
Correct.
So if you wish to have the real taste of this coaching, right, in a way, so that you know and you believe, you have the trust that you will be able to crack JEE. Test prep card culture is the best. Okay, that's it.
Fine, Swani. So we'll move on to the next question. So I think most of the parents would agree to these points which you have just mentioned. So I would now go to the second.
Parents must contemplate, they must have a deep introspection with contemplation on my words, whatever I'm telling you right now.
Yes. No, I believe so.
They must look
Definitely.
into their heart, the mind, right? Think at least for 30 minutes. If you find my points wrong, right over here on this channel, I would personally be calling them, would be answering the questions.
Sure. We'll
That's
go.
if I really find worth answering.
Yeah.
Right. All I'm trying to tell you that your coaching has to be aligned with the aptitude. Do not push their children unnecessarily into coaching.
Right.
And then believe, and then later claiming that I have given 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupees, and then I am not getting the result. Right. You need to know the aptitude of the child. From here, the journey begins.
Right. So merely parents just simply cannot run away from their responsibilities. That my responsibility is only to get a good coaching center,
yeah,
and then my job is done.
No, what basically the definition of a good coaching center?
Mm-hmm.
The coaching center says that over this period of time I have given this much of result.
Right.
But still I say that test prep card result can be compared to any institution.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of money that we take, and the amount of money they have paid somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just compare this and then compare the result.
Okay.
You will always find test prep card is much, much ahead of all these things. Right? Of all these institutions.
Definitely, I think teaching pedagogy is again an important aspect when the JEE preparation is concerned. So not just looking at the fee aspect, because I don't think that whenever whosoever is in Middle East will be looking at the fee factor. Of course, it's a point of consideration.
No, but if you are not looking at the fee, at least look where you are investing your child.
Yeah, this is what I'm coming to.
You are investing.
This is what I'm coming to. That teaching, but how parents would be able to understand. See, let's say I'm a parent. Okay, I want my child to prepare for JEE, and he just recently passed out of grade 10th. Now he wants to go for 11th and 12th. Apart from seeing the ads and get motivated by these advertisements, or maybe I might have heard from my friend that okay, this coaching center is okay. Apart from knowing that okay, what is the fee they are charging, what are the factors that I should be considering before putting my child over there? Because as a parent, I do not know nothing, right? I just wanted to understand. Okay, I might be able to see the result. I might be able to see the fee aspect. What other things you can mention? Or
when you are in the Middle East, have you checked the result of any particular institution from the Middle East itself?
But most of them claim that, yeah, we have given results.
Claiming is something very different. You need to draft your own knowledgeability. You need to have a good, research. You delve into this, and then you come to know what basically the result. Right. 97 point something is a big, percent. But when you are converting this into the percentile, do you find that your child is going somewhere else? Now, what is the most important? What factors that I have already described to you? But let me tell you that there is only one thing which is important, and this is what I have already told you, that aptitude is something, at least a basic aptitude your child should have. If you are hitting on something and being a headstrong, if you are running that, okay, this institute, it has given this much. Maybe that 100 out of 100 students, they must have got that aptitude. That's why that institute is claiming that I have given 100% result.
Right.
Your child may be 101.
Right.
So here, that's going to be a problem. That's why here at Test Prep Card, we never accept a student without having a discussion session, without knowing the aptitude. That's why our result is something which is always on the higher side. Because the child knows I have the aptitude. The parent believes that my child has got the aptitude. And we know that we are teaching the student with the best of the student, best of the content, and the best of the test. That's a simple recipe. Okay. If the child doesn't have aptitude, doesn't have basic understanding, is still struggling with grade 11,
with the normal CBSE syllabus.
not able to devote the time, if he's struggling, it's a truth. Why to hide this? Why to hide this? If the student is having a problem in understanding the concept of NCRT, NCRT concept is something which is magical.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's correct. Right.
It has been written in such a simple way, right? But some may find it boring. But if you look into this properly, you find that these are the best of the books.
Okay.
NCRT.
Okay.
That gives you a very good conceptual knowledge. And then there are standard content. This is what we have devised, we have invented in a very cautious way. How to relate the simple thing with a simple thing. Okay. It's an association of simple things. Right. Let's not make it complicated.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question here. So first of all, let's say, sorry if I'm not being my most articulate at this point in time, but I have a follow-up question here. As you mentioned that about the CBSE syllabus for grade 11, right? When we are preparing students for JEE, when you are preparing students for the JEE, uh, do you think most of the coaching centers or other coaching centers should be paying attention, or let's say test prep card? Let's take an example of test prep card, would be easy. Whenever a student is coming for, let's say, 2-year coaching starting from grade 11th, are we paying attention to the CBSE syllabus along with the JEE syllabus, or do we directly start with the JEE syllabus? Because this is the common question that we've been facing in many of the counseling sessions, that my child is already going for a CBSE classes. Now we wanted to go for JEE also. Will this coaching be covering the JEE CBSE syllabus? And if my child is struggling already with the CBSE syllabus, will you take that student for a JEE coaching or not?
So here, this is the call of the parents. Whether if the child is struggling with the CBSE, whether the parents would like to push their children into JEE or NEET coaching, right? That's completely a matter between the family. Among the family council, the family can decide. Mother and father, they can take this decision. We people sitting outside would not be able to make any sort of particular comment. Here, the thing is that you are talking about the syllabus. The syllabus of JEE, the syllabus of NEET, and the syllabus of CBSE 11 term. These are same. You can check that. You clear the concept with the help of CBSE in grade 11th and 12th. On the basis of that, you improvise. If your conceptual knowledge is good, you are an ideal candidate for JEE or NEET. Right? And you have got a sound potential, high potential to crack JEE and NEET because your conceptual knowledge is good, provided you work on the application part.
Right.
You need to solve the diverse varieties of question of different levels of difficulty.
Yeah.
Or that's the best way. You should be taking charm, you should be taking joy in playing with these questions. Then only you understand the construct of the JEE
and develop that problem solving ability over
I'm
the
again
period of time.
emphasizing on this thing. JEE need, these are not difficult. You make it difficult because you don't have aptitude. You make it difficult because there is no one who could comprehend the things for you. This is the usability of a teacher over here.
Correct.
Right. You make it difficult because you have never taken a joy into looking into the book, understanding that these cannot be created artificially.
Yeah.
Right. If a child, a student, understands the basic concept, he should start. Right. That's it. And he would be able to do. But you also need to be cautious. The parents need to be cautious as what type of culture that particular coaching institute is showing into the child's brain. Whether it's a toxic culture where from the student and they are sitting and they're talking, have you done this test? No, I haven't. Have you done this? No, I haven't. Have you done? Yes, I have done. I'm the best over here. That's a toxic culture.